Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Learning Droid, and welcome back to another episode here on Stories with Droid. This episode is actually going to be an introductory episode to a D20 campaign that's going to be either on the Gaming Droid channel or on ToadNet. It's going to be me and a few guys playing some Pathfinder D20 in a interesting comedic setting. So it's going to be a bit of a comedy campaign. They're always rather fun to watch, and there tend to be quite a few hours of entertainment split up into about half-hour sections. So you're all welcome to hop over. I will post up a link once the session actually comes in. It may be a couple of weeks before we actually get started. So this is going to be an introduction both for you guys and for the players. So, the city of Gonabe. The city of Gonabe sits on the edge of the Severin Empire, named after the god that is the main worship in the Empire. The Empire itself is a mixture of orc and goblin, human, gnoll, with a smattering of dwarf. Some even say there are some demons that live in some of the more interesting parts of the Empire. But the city of Gonabe is settled on the edge, the western edge of the Empire. And it miles up with the Griffin Empire. It sits on the border. And on the other side of the border, the Griffin Empire is primarily human with a little bit of elf and a little bit of dwarf. And they tell stories about the horrible goblins and orcs that infest the Severin Empire, and the young braves of the human empire, the young warrior knights, make skirmishes across the border. And of course this culminated in war. About 5 generations ago, the war between the empires ignited, and the first city to fall under great battle and great siege was Gonabe. Human mages bombarded the walls. Human catapults rained stones down upon the people. And all the while, this was resisted by the Maguses of Gonabe. But over time, unable to gather reinforcements while they were under siege, the mages began to weaken. And so it was a small cult of specialist mages that turned to the city's defence. The Flebamites, blood mages, practitioners of the dark magic that draws power from blood. They were seen as outcasts, religious fanatics, and sometimes insane murderers. And it was these people that rose to defend the city. They took donations of blood from the civilians, and they rose up, empowered by the blood of thousands of citizens living in Gonabe. They rose up against the sieging humans and drove them back. They allowed relief to come to Gonabe. And so it was that Gonabe was brought freedom. Since then, the city of Gonabe has undergone a few changes. It has grown, for one thing. The Magus College has expanded and consumed the entire of what is now called the Magus Guild. Has consumed the entire of what is now called the Magus Guild Hill. The only people who practice magic who do not live on Magus Guild Hill are the Necromundi, the Necromancers, and they live on Necromundis Dock. Away from Necromundis Dock are the trader docks and the trader hands. And of course the city is a lively place. The gambling dens and drinking dens ply vigorous trade, and many people, warrior, civilian, trader, merchant, nobleman and mage alike, attend these places. One of these places is specialist, shall we say. It caters to the orcs and goblins who appreciate the form of a body, regardless of the choices made by that individual. And so we have the Hidden Hole and the Masked Pole, two sister clubs within the city, not far from Magus Guild Hill. These places are renowned as their staff are often transgender or confused, asexual, many different things. And this is where our story, when we begin it with our group, will begin. The world has been quiet for many years. A few border skirmishes here and there, young humans coming across the border to raid a farm, countered by young goblins doing the same thing. It's been a tit for tat for some time. But something is gathering. There are reports going through the city of human soldiers moving into the towns on the other side of the border, in much larger numbers than one might expect. And even within the city, people find it hard to avoid the fact that the Magus are now much more active. The Magus Guild Hill is alight with flashing lights and aurora borealis and flickering and even the sounds of music at night, and the mages move around the city themselves. But the walls are strong, and the soldiers are strong, and the magi are strong, so people do not worry too much. It is coming up on the time of the gift. The Flebamites, having saved the city 5 generations ago, became a more accepted group, and now move around the city once a month at the time of the gift, and receive donations of blood. The Flebamites set up temporary donation temples. Because these temples are driven around by cart drivers, mounted on the back of large carts, and driven by teams of horses, these are sometimes known as the blood drive temples. And this is where many people will go to donate blood to the researches of the blood mages, the Flebamites. And indeed, this time round, many people who put off donation are thinking about attending to donate, what with the scare building up tensions in the city. But no one's quite sure what's going on. There is an air of mystery and darkness around the place. And if you sit quietly, sometimes you can hear an odd humming sound thrumming through the city, as if the entire city were a large being and its heart rate was just drumming deep underground. So what will happen? Will the humans invade? Will the mages destroy the city from within? What is it that is this dark cloud gathering on the horizon? To know that, our players must get involved, and the story must be unveiled. Thank you all for listening, and when the story begins and our D20 campaign starts, I will be adding the link in the description below. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye!